Hey everyone, it's Justine, and today I am working with a new set of Art Impressions twist ties, and these here I got to play with at Creativation, the dog ones, and I'm really excited to try out the giraffes. I love giraffes. They come with the stamp as well as the die. I love Art Impressions for that they come with everything generally that you need except for maybe a wobbler or two. And all of your instructions are very clearly laid on the back on how to do this. It was super easy to follow along. So the first thing you need to do is cut out a card base that measures 9.5 by 5.5. Now I'm using 110-pound Neenah Solar White cardstock. That's a little bit on the thicker side because this is going to be my card base. The next thing we need to do is just add 2 score lines, and these are going to be at 2 3/4 and 7 inches. Now this is nothing new to card making, nor is it complicated. It's just making sure that the fold is a gatefold card, which means that the fold goes in the front, or the opening is actually in the front center. So when we go ahead and score these lines, we are going to have a card that opens up in the front center. The next instruction is going to be stamping. So again, it's just very straightforward. There's 4 instructions total and very, very easy to follow along. So I'm just reinforcing those score lines using a Teflon bone folder. If you don't have a Teflon bone folder, it's something that took me years to invest in. It doesn't leave any shine on your cardstock, and it's just fantastic. It's my favorite tool, I think, of all time, even though it took me so long to invest because it is a bit of an investment. So now going into the actual stamping part. So again, it tells you exactly what to do on the instructions. So I am grabbing the left-facing animal, so the animal that's facing left when you stamp it. And you'll see that there are little L's at the bottom of the stamp set that help you align the giraffe. So I am going to use my Misti stamping tool here to stamp these, just to make sure I get a good impression. I'm going to use Memento black COPIC friendly ink because I'm going to be COPIC coloring these after, and I know I'm going to be doing that, so it's just important to use the correct ink depending on the color medium that you're going to choose. So you see that I aligned the L with the bottom of the cardstock with the fold of the gatefold card. And I'm holding everything down using a bar magnet for my Misti just to keep everything in place. And it's really important not to ink up that L. That L is only there to show you where to position everything. So just be careful when you're stamping. So I've stamped this twice to get a nice clear impression, and now I'm able to move on to the second giraffe. This giraffe is going to be the one that is facing to the right. It is stamped on the right side of the panel, but it is flushed left on the cardstock. So just not to get anything super confused here. So I'm just going to turn that over, line up the L with the gatefold of the card, and then I'm going to stamp that as well. Don't worry, the stamp fits completely on one panel, so don't worry about getting stuff on your other giraffe if you lined it up correctly. So there is my second impression, and I'm just going to stamp that one more time so it has the same darkness as the other giraffe, and then we're going to get started on the die cutting. So the dies come with the set. The Art Impressions are excellent with that. The coordinating dies always come, or usually come, with the set, or it's clearly marked saying that you need a different set. So that's what I really love about the stamps, is that they're affordable. They only give you what you need. So you have 2 giraffes and a sentiment, and you get the coordinating dies to make this fun interactive card. I'm going to hold it together with some washi tape or purple tape from Thermoweb, and I'm going to add these to both sides. I've run these through my die cutting machine just off screen here, and you'll see that the dies are perfectly lined up. You just need to remove them, and they are going to cut out a heart as well as the outline of the giraffe. Now the one on the right, you can even see now, I didn't quite cut it enough to the side there, so I did have a little bit of a piece that was hanging, but honestly you could just rip that little piece off. I just needed to help it along there and just remove it myself. Now before I start coloring, I just wanted to actually put this together to make sure it all lined up correctly before I put in the work of coloring, just in case I made a mistake at this point. So you can see how they twist together to close the card in the front. And I've gone ahead and Copic colored those off screen. I will have the colors used listed on my blog. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to die cut a stitched heart. This is from Lawn Fawn that I have in my stash, and it is larger than the heart that I used on the front of the card. And I used some retired My Favorite Things animal prints paper. I think it was called Wild Prints or Wild Things. And this is now unfortunately retired, but I thought the giraffe pattern was super cute, and I'll try and find an alternative stamp to link below that you could either stamp this with or a paper that would be of this design. So now I have this all in the background. I'm going to twist up my giraffes. It's all pretty much done, the interactive part of it. All I need to do now is just add a sentiment. So on a sheet of black cardstock, I am going to stamp the sentiment that comes with the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp that in VersaMark ink because I'm going to be embossing it onto a piece of black cardstock. So I'm using super fine White Ranger embossing powder and just dipping it in there, and then I'm going to heat it all up so that it gets all melted and it's all finished on my card there. I used my fishtail banners from My Favorite Things to cut this out. I find this to be a set of banners that I pull out all the time for sentiments, so it's definitely a great investment. And it comes in 4 different sizes, so it fits so many sentiments that are on one line on a smaller font. And I'm just going to add this to the front of my card. Now, just making sure that I don't add any glue to both sides of the panel, because if I glue both sides of the panel, my card's not going to open. So I only glued it on the right side of the panel so that when I open it up again, you're going to see that it opens with the right side of the panel. So just taking it apart one more time to show you how they work. Just super, super cute. And remember, they have other animals as well. I'll link to those below in the video description also. And I just wanted to say thanks so much for watching today's video on this interactive card. A little bit different for my style, but I absolutely had to try it. Thanks so much for watching. I have a couple of suggested videos here if you're interested in checking out more, or you can subscribe to my channel. All right, I'll see you in a few days for another video. Bye-bye.